Tomorrow by Together just released a whole ass film with their music video for Magic Island. Honestly, I'm just as confused as you are, but let's just try to decipher this. Now there's so much text, this is all confusing, and the music didn't even start, but let me just say the basic premise of this explanation will be that this entire music video is a dream. Personally, I think this entire music video is a dream with various layers, just like the movie Inception. I think one of the members, most likely Taeyeon, please refer to my video explanation for Runaway, is dreaming all of this. Like the last video and my theory for it, I think all of the members are imaginations of Taeyeon's psyche, each representing different personas, feelings, and egos. As we get deeper and deeper into the different layers of the dream, he can get deeper and deeper into the core of his own psyche. And we could get an insight into what's going on deep inside Taeyeon's mind. Now back to this scene. Yeonjun talks about this ghost, which we'll talk about that later, but just remember that he seems to be the only one hearing about this ghost. Right now in the first scene, they are already in a dream, and I'll tell you why I think this way. In dreams, details are incomplete and sometimes illogical. The subway station map is very much incomplete in this video. Cheongdam is not even on the same line as Duksam. Duksam is line number 2. Cheongdam is, I don't know what line, but it's definitely not line number 2. And there are absolutely no big gaps like this in the Seoul Metro. Also, why are these kids having a conversation via text when they are all in the same train and they all know each other and they all know that they're all on the same train?
Okay, Boomer.
This entire scene being a dream is probably the only logical explanation that at least I could have think of to answer these questions. Then they do a jump into a dream within a dream, where the metro leads them to Duksam, which is where Yeonjun suggested to go. Now there could be a multitude of reasons why Duksam, out of all places, was chosen as the location that Yeonjun wanted to go. Honestly, it's not a well-visited area. It's not really a point of interest for most Seoul people. So it does seem random, but I have a few guesses on why Yeonjun chose Duksam out of all these places. First could be the symbolism in its geographical features. Seom means island, and Duksam means Duk Island. However, in reality, Duksam is just an area attached to the northern landmass of Seoul and was never an island, and is still not an island. It received its name because it used to flood in the Han River, and when it did, the flood water would swerve around the neighboring areas, making Tuksum look like an island. It is in a sense a piece of land that withstood the test of natural disasters and outer forces, like a flood. Something strong and enduring, something that Tomorrow by Together aspires to be. On top of this, Tuksum is now the home of Seoul Forest, which is one of Seoul's biggest parks. Coincidentally, Tomorrow by Together goes into a forest in the very next scene, most likely a dreamed up version of the Seoul Forest. This forest seems to be a fantasy land, very happy place. I think the entire setting represents the untouched, childlike parts of the mind of the dreamer. Everything is very happy and fairy tale like, the colors and everything. The only bugging part is that Yeonjun continues to see this ghost, but seems to be the only one that notices or sees it. In the last explained video, I stated that Yeonjun was a character that signified teenage angst and self-doubt. Go refer to that video to get the full picture on why I thought that way. Now, judging by how Yeonjun is the only one who can see the ghost, I think the rest of the members signify the naive, the childlike parts of the dreamer, while Yeonjun is the more mature part, but also more angsty and uneasy. He starts seeing ghosts, which I think are metaphors of things that you didn't see or notice when you were a kid, but now you do, and the world actually seems a lot more scarier. Night arrives at the forest, some time has passed, and they are all losing their naivete. They're all playing with fire, there's lots of passion, as you do when you're growing up, but also the ghost, images of the ghost, the sounds of the ghost, all become more prevalent. They begin to see the darkness of the world and will soon realize that the world isn't so pretty. In this next scene, they're all chilling at the campfire, but then they realize that the forest fire has spread due to them playing with fire. In other words, growing up has turned the world to shit, and now they realize everything is falling into pieces. Or at least that's what's happening inside the psyche. That's what they perceive the world as. They hear ghosts, the fire spreads, all signs of a troubled mind. I just gotta ask though, how the f do you just realize that there's this huge ass fire around you just now when you've been in this forest for like 20 years playing with fireballs? Oh yeah, it's all in a dream. Then out of fucking nowhere, a train comes and hits them, like boom, flying everywhere. Kids, if you wanna know what puberty is like, this is it right here. And then we get a glimpse of the deepest layer of the dream, the very core of the psyche, which has completely turned to absolute shit. It's very troubled, there's dragons and shit and lightning. It's just full on puberty town and Tomorrow by Together universe. Now, I'm not joking here, I actually do think that this song is about what goes on deep inside the psyche of someone going through a phase of growing up. On the surface, to the third person, it may look very dull and boring, just like the very first scenes of this music video and the very first layers of the psyche and dream. They're very inanimate. But as we get further on into the music video and deeper into the psyche, we realize that the mind of the dreamer and the mind of someone growing up is very troubled. They have dragons and shit flying everywhere. And I think this is very true because when I was hitting my puberty and when I was growing up as a teenager, I had a lot of things in my mind that would make dragons flip inside my psyche. But a lot of adults thought it was nothing. It was not a big problem. Why are you just overreacting to everything? Then these last lines appear and I'm all confused again. I think this is a dreamer waking up and asking what the fuck actually happened. The one who answers, remember my name, is probably childhood. It's childhood speaking to you. The boy is no longer a boy. He is
a man.
And also, is BTS universe and Tomorrow by Together universe connected? I called it here first, even before Tomorrow by Together even came out, so got it on DKDKTV. Called it here first.